Guys that use money to sustain their relationships and use money to get their way in, that was weak. It's weakness. It's weak because you don't believe in you enough. The money makes you more of whatever you already are, but you got to bring something to the table.
If you lead with your wallet, your relationship with a woman will never be solid. So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. If you lead with your wallet, she will always view you as a provider. She will always view you as a man who must pay for her to stay, as a man who must pay to play. You cannot pay for something and then expect someone to give it to you for free someday just because you've paid so much for it. Because people need money to survive. And everything you can do to make money, you're never going to let those people do it for no money or fake money. Now, there's a real issue going on in this society. And it's mainly based on a bunch of beta male simp manginas who ain't never had no money and were never able to get women without money, who now suddenly have money and now they're able to have access to a different quality of women, or women in general that they've never been able to have access to before. So those men don't know how to deal with those women in any other way except showing money, giving money. And it is teaching younger men that that's a reasonable and prudent way to approach relationships, when in all actuality, it's not. See, too many men don't understand women from a position of power. And if you don't understand women from a position of power, then you understand women from a position of powerlessness. But let's listen to LL and Mike Tyson talk about this, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
Look, no woman is going to be happy with you chasing her ass all the time. Like all the time. I'm not talking about in the beginning when you guys are coming together. I'm talking about if you live your life chasing a woman and showing up at her doorstep and having flowers and shit and violins and, you know, all that shit, you killing yourself. The relationship is not going to last. The reality is, when you buy your way in and you become a provider and you just become like you represent provision, that's not the same as being sexually stimulating.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like representing provision and just being a guy, yo, I'm gonna buy you a bunch of shit. Yo, that's weak. See, guys that use money to sustain their relationships and use money to get their way in, that was weak. It's weakness. It's weak because you don't believe in you enough. You trying to use money. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be you. The money is an exclamation mark. The money makes you more of whatever you already are. But you gotta bring something to the table.
And you have to understand, the initial way you interact with someone is the way they're always going to see you. You got to remember this. First impressions are lasting impressions. And so whatever you show someone from the beginning, that is what they're going to perceive you as. And anything you try to do after that is going to be perceived as you being fake. So it is very important that you men, especially you young men, understand that it makes no sense for you to lead with money or use money to attract women and then try to turn that into a successful relationship that's based on character and qualities of you as an individual man. Now, what you hear are two OGs. Now, one of these guys has been married to his wife since he was 17, 18, 19 years old. LL has been with the same woman for 30 years. And so what we have to understand is that on the other side, Mike Tyson is a man who has a new wife now, but we know what Mike Tyson has gone through back in the days when he was trying to pay women to stay, pay a woman to play, where he led with his wallet and then got upset when it didn't turn into what he thought it should turn into. See, you can't buy a woman's respect. You can't buy a woman's submission. You can't buy a woman's dedication. Tricking has been excused and abused by dudes who don't mind being misused. That's all we're dealing with in this particular society. So you have a bunch of men who are willing to give whatever they have to give just to have a woman present. They don't value what they have more than they value a woman's presence. So you can work for 10, 15 years to build yourself to the most alpha version of yourself and put yourself in a financially secure position only to meet a woman and say, okay, you're so beautiful that you need to have access to all of this without making her earn anything. See, what y'all got to understand is this, man. If you got to pay to play, the woman don't want to play for real. She'll just do whatever it takes to get the bag. If there is no mutual attraction, if there's no we can't keep our hands off of each other mindset, if there's not that type of physical connection, then there's going to be some ulterior motive for a woman being with you. And many men don't understand that. See, what happens in this particular society is men try to say it's not tricking if you got it. Well, here's the problem with that. You can't trick if you ain't got it. So it's got to be tricking only if you got it. Otherwise, if you ain't got it, you don't matter in this conversation. But when that mindset started to be taken on and accepted, it's not the mindset, it's the overall acceptance of the mindset. So many men out here have led to this interaction between men and women where a woman meets you and she views you as the bag. Why? Because she's already met 10 guys who she probably was never intimate with, who she can call right now and get a bill paid. You men believe that you got money in order to pay women to be around you. And let me tell you the most beta male mindset that any man out here could ever tell you. You need to increase a woman's interest in you. You need to increase a woman's attraction to you. If a woman is truly interested or attracted to you, man, you ain't got to increase nothing. You might have to try to decrease it. Because women get approached by so many men that they don't find attractive, so many men they don't have any connection to, that when you meet a woman and she has that connection to you, she gonna go haywire just like you gonna go haywire. So never listen to a man tell you that you need to do something to increase a woman's interest in you. Man, that's the most beta male simp man Johnny mindset I ever heard in my life, man. Ain't nothing real about it. And what you gotta understand, man, there ain't nobody out here that got more game than the ism. You understand? P's got the true game, man. And so I'm going to tell you like this. If you're not applying the principles of the ism to the square world, then you're going to be a beta male simp mangina when it comes to dealing with women, bro. That's just what you're going to be. Ain't nothing you can do about it. There's two kind of men in the world. You understand? There's pimps and tricks. Ain't no other kind of man. Every man fits into one of those categories. There are married men who are running their scenario and their woman is fully dedicated to pleasing them and earning her position and letting that man know you might well not try to replace me because I can't be replaced. I'm too good to you. I do this and I do that and I listen when you talk and I follow your instructions and I do all of that. And then there's a woman out there, man, that ain't doing none of that and still getting all the same benefits. Now you tell me the difference in those two men. Why is this woman over here having to earn everything and having to prove herself on a daily, and this woman over here ain't got to do nothing? And no matter what she does, no matter how bad, no matter how foul, no matter how disrespectful, she still get the same treatment as that woman over there. It's not the women who are making the difference out here. It is the men. It is the quality of man that you decide that you're going to be. What type of man you going to be? You going to be a man that just give it, give it, give it, give it? Or you going to be a man that require a woman to earn it? Let me tell you something, boy, my woman got a payday. It's a payday for her. Whenever I take her on a trip somewhere, it's a payday for her. Why? Because she has done great work over the last work period. Over the last pay period, she has earned something great from me. She don't just get it because she show up. How am I gonna give it to her when she just show up? I didn't get it yet by showing up. Nah, man, I had to grind. I had to get on it. I had to do my just do. You understand what I'm saying? And so you got to understand, anytime you lead with your wallet, your relationship with a woman would never be solid. I say again.
Anytime you lead with your wallet, your relationship with a woman will never be solid.
If you're out here cold approaching women just to get intimacy, then you have the mindset of a trick. That's the mindset of a trick. What do you think tricks do? When tricks go on the strip in Vegas, what do you think they're doing? They go up in them hotels in Vegas. What do you think they're doing? They are on the strip trying to find a woman to have fun with. That's what you're doing out here in the real world. The only difference is he just goes There's a fee. He does what he does. They have fun. He goes home. You got to do all this whining and dining. You got to make all these social calls, man. You got to be doing all this texting and flexing and doing all this, man. Let me tell you something, homie. If you cannot get a woman based on who you are, based on your character, based on your alpha energy, then you got work to do on yourself. Because I'm going to tell you like this. You can give a woman $1 million, and if she ain't feeling you, I can come along and she'll give me half of that $1 million and give me a better overall experience with her. Give me the shut up and there's an obedience that you can't even buy. So I tell you, men, and I'm going to say this one last time, man, taking care of a woman who focuses on taking care of herself is a beta male sim mangina move. Because there are ways that a woman can take care of her man, not financially, but there are things a woman can do, feminine things a woman can do to take care of her man. And if you're a man that's put yourself in a position to win financially, boy, you the winning team. What happens on the winning team? We just won the championship last year. You don't come in here and make no rules. Let me tell you something. Let's take LeBron James, for instance. LeBron ain't never went to a team that just won the championship last year and made no calls, made no moves, made no nothing. You see what I'm saying? Because that team is already a champion. You got to go to a losing team to have that type of pull. And if you let a woman come into your life, man, who ain't contributing nothing and start dictating things and start being in a winning position, she going to get the MVP the first day she there, man. The season ain't even started. Let me tell you, boy, you deserve whatever you going to get. Because gone are the days where we should be out here feeling sorry for these dudes who put themselves in these losing situations, man. It doesn't make any sense. You got older guys, young guys, you got a bunch of men out here who had absolutely terrible luck with women, who got money, and now they're looked at as the bad. And here's the problem. If you ain't never had no access to women at all, boy, you don't mind being looked at as the bag. Anything that it takes for you to be able to have access to the type of women you only see on TV, the type of women you only see in magazines, the type of women you only see on IG. So the majority of men out here who are in a position of influence have a trick mindset. But what I am telling you, what LL is telling you, what Mike Tyson is telling you, 3 OGs I might add, is that you can't win if that's your mindset. You can't win. Why do you think you look at the industry, man, and these same girls be going around all these different guys? Why do you think, let's say Ari Fletcher, how do you think she end up with G Herbo having his baby, then end up with Moneybagg? How do you think Saweetie ends up with Quavo, then she ends up with this guy, then she ends up with this guy? How do you think all these things take place? There's only one reason they take place. Because most men have the same mindset when it comes to women and money. I work hard to make my money, and when I finally get it, the woman is so valuable to me that I'll give whatever amount of money I have to give. So when you give the money away, it's not the money you're giving away. It's the respect for the grind that it took to get the money. It's the respect for the hustle, the focus, the determination, the sacrifice that it took to get to the money. How you gonna throw away all that sacrifice just to have a woman who doesn't respect you anyway because she was never feeling you? That's the big deal when we talk about Russell Wilson and Ciara. Hey man, yeah, Russell Wilson a good dude. Cool. If you choose a woman to be your wife, you might as well love her. I hope you love her. But the bottom line is, when you think about it, let's be honest. He wouldn't have a chance with a woman like that if he didn't have money. Now you can say none of us would, but there's a man out there who doesn't have the same level of money and fame and notoriety who could have her. Back in the day, Future wasn't popping. He ain't had that kind of money back then. He was just bubbling under. He ain't had the type of power of his own career that he has now. So when you think about it, Future had much less money than Russell. He may be a little bit closer now, but he had much less money then. And it didn't matter. Bow Wow ain't never had that much money. You see what I'm saying? 50 money may have been longer. But at that time, I don't know, it may not have been. So you have to think about the issue is that when you're in a situation where you know you're not a woman's type, you cannot be with a woman if you're not her type, because you're going to pay her to play. You're going to play her to stay. And that is not the mindset that any real man should have. And I'm going to tell y'all like this. All y'all who talk about, well, we need to kill the pimp mindset. No, you don't. You don't need to kill that mindset. The actions, the actual actions in the real world, on the turf, on the streets, some of the unscrupulous things that take place, yes. But the issue is not the things that take place, it's the mindset and the connection you must have with a woman to be able to make her do whatever you want her to do. Now you got to be a man of some moral fiber or have some moral compass governing your actions where you don't just have a woman doing nothing crazy like that. But if you're going to lead a woman in the proper direction to benefit the process of your progress in the real world, in a real way, boy, ain't nothing like the ism. Boy, let me tell you something. Y'all better start respecting the prism of the ism, because if not, then all you going to do is gravitate toward the mindset of a trick. And yes, it is still tricking if you got it. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Tricks acting like they max, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Betas claiming to be alpha, but they not though. Now I'm not gonna tell you, man, that you shouldn't value your woman at all. A woman does have value, but you can't overvalue her